Hey guys, welcome back to If I Do Say So Myself, because I do say so myself, and I'm your host Pasitao. How are you guys doing? I feel like I have not been very nice. I've not been asking how you guys are doing. So how are you guys doing? Is it a good day? Personally, it's an amazing Tuesday. It's a good day. The sun is bright. I don't like the sun as much, but yeah, it's a bright day. It's a good day, and here we are again. And today it's more like a thought process, a confusion thing, an understanding thing, you know. People keep talking about professionalism, how creatives are not professional, how creatives don't keep time, how creatives don't dress up right for the job, how, you know, there's a lot of complaints about how creatives are not professional. And it got me to thinking, what does actually professionalism mean in the creative world? Because in the corporate world, professionalism is completely different. It's uptight, it's strict, it's on a schedule, it's like a rule you have to follow, which is not really something that directly works with creativity, because how are you going to be creative if you're being uptight, if you have to follow only a specific rule? It doesn't make sense, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that creatives can't be professional. They still can dress right, they can still keep time, they can still communicate, and that's something that should cut across. But it's not a conversation that is had a lot. People do complain, yes, but it's not a conversation that I feel has been hard enough in the creative spaces. And when it does get to be spoken about, it's not how it should be, in my opinion. I feel like you cannot expect a painter, a carpenter, or a photographer to have a specific rule to go by. Yeah, the things that will relate, like communication, timekeeping, dressing up nice, but restrictions and creativity don't work hand in hand. So they kind of have to find a balance of how these two can work. And yeah, of course, I've had a chance to work both in the corporate world and in the creative world. And I have tried different industry, hospitality, medical, whatever. I've been around, you know, I've tried the nightlife, I've worked in different spaces. And I've realized that professionalism in different spaces define different things, are defined by different things, they are looked at by different things, and it doesn't actually mean that it doesn't exist, it just means it's different. So it's very confusing to me if we look at creativity and professionalism as something that should just directly copy what's in the corporate world. Personally, I think the corporate world is a space that is so unprofessional. Like in the Ugandan industry, I feel like the corporate space is way more unprofessional than actually the creative space. And don't get me wrong, this is not about how you dress. This is not how you're supposed to show up to work at 9, at 8 a.m. and you're at work on time, and you know, you're going for that meeting, you are calling whatever you're supposed to call, you're sending in those reports. It has nothing to do with that. It has a lot to do with things that are not actually rules, because I feel like creatives are very professional in a way that it's, of course, a lot of the creatives are not professional, but in the context of doing their job, creatives are actually professional. And the unprofessionalism comes from the employers. So the corporate world has the biggest number of employers. That's why I'm attacking them first, because as an employer, I should not be telling you that you need to pay me. I mean, have I done the job? Have I been to work on time? You get? And of course, creatives suffer this more than the corporate world people, but the corporate space is where it actually is done so smoothly, I would say, or so carefully, that it almost doesn't feel like it's unprofessional. It just feels like, oh, my salary is delayed, or my allowance is delayed, and then you have to kind of figure out to get to work because your boss is still expecting you at work. In the creative space, it's different though, because people are going to fail to pay a creator. They'll tell you, oh, you've shot your video, yeah, I've received the video, but I'll pay you after 2 weeks, I'll pay you in a month's time, I'll pay you, and then it just becomes a circle and a circle and a circle. So yeah, please, pay creatives. Speaking from a creative point of view, if someone does creative work for you, please do them a favor and pay for you. Do you like the work? Did you enjoy the work? Do you think it was what you asked for? Then why are you not paying for it? They have bills to pay too. So pay creatives, but that's a side note. So professionalism, I want to understand what professionalism means from your point of view, from the people you've seen, the people you've worked with. Because why I think that the corporate world is the most unprofessional is because I've worked in the hospitality industry. And by the name hospitality, you're already thinking this should be a space where people are humane, people are nice, people are respectful. You actually care because, if you're serving a client and their food is not nice, the drink is not kawaii, it's your job to be nice. It's your job to think, okay, let me switch it up. It's just a culture. You think hospitality and you think nice things, nice people, nice energy. You're thinking they're going to be nice. And I'm not disregarding the fact that they are really bad, hospitality workers, but in this case, I'm only going to target the treatment that is given to the employees, either by the employers or by their supervisors or all of that. And I think it's something that stands out a lot for me because I have worked in that industry. And I'm also one person that thinks that respect is something that it should be accorded to every human being, whether we know each other or we don't know each other, or whether, like, the first time you meet someone, your first thought is not, let me shout at them, let me get mad at them, let me, punch them in the face. That's not it. It's a general rule. A human is just nice to the other human, and that's just how it is. But guys, the hospitality industry, it's mind-blowing because the highest level of disrespect, and I know this is a big controversy, it's not something that people talk about daily, but I believe that you should be able to give what you want to be given back. If you are an employer and you have no respect or any regard for humans or for adults, because in my thought I'm thinking, why are you shouting at a grown-ass person? Why are you yelling, in fact, at a grown-ass person? At the end of the day, can they listen if you speak on a normal tone? Can they, understand and fathom what you're saying? Which, yeah, obviously. But the hospitality industry is really intense, yeah? And I feel like it's one of those industries that kill your confidence, literally, because you're there on a very tiny salary, very tiny salary, you're barely surviving, and then you have to stand for 10-12 hours on your feet, seated, and you have to keep smiling throughout the day. I feel like they should be one of the workers or the category of workers or employees that are treated very nicely because they define human interaction. And that's why you find corporate spaces hiring customer service people, because you're trying to be nice. Professionalism. So as we go for the break, I want you to just think about it in your workspace, in your environment, whether you're creative or not. What does professionalism mean to you, and how does that work for you? Is it okay, or we are still in the hospitality environment? See you after the break. What's up, guys? Welcome back from that break, and I hope you don't forget that Unix Logistics is the sponsor of this show, and yeah, let us be at your service. I'd asked you a question: what does professionalism mean to you, feel like in your workspace? What does it just equate to, literally? For me, I feel like I brought in the hospitality industry because the hospitality industry, with its name, in my opinion, should be one of the most professional spaces. And yeah, on the surface, it really is. You walk into a restaurant, a 5-star hotel or whatever, the space is clean, the workers are dressed nice, they all look like they're put together. But for me, professionalism cuts across just being dressed nice, coming to work on time, it cuts across that it also counts on how humane you are to your workers. As an employee, an employer, why are you shouting at an employee that is grown, a grown man, a grown woman? You're just yelling at them like they can't understand. That is not professional, in my opinion, because, yeah, of course, you're the boss, you're the big dog or whatever, but at the end of the day, hospitality should carry the weight of being humane. And I've seen that a lot in the hospitality industry. Professionalism should be what carries weight, you know, how humane you are to your workers, to your colleagues, to the people that you're supervising, to the people that you're working with, because that's a basic human instinct. So if that is not being accorded to the people you're working, imagine, yeah, you are a waiter and you've been on your feet for like 12 hours, 10 hours, you've probably not had a lunch break, and there's nothing going on. You're just there literally just looking on, waiting for a client to show up so you can smile. And then you decide to maybe take a 2 minutes break, and then your boss, your HR, or whoever is in charge meets you and is yelling at you immediately, because you can't yell back. You're thinking, I need to keep my job, he's my boss, and what. And for me, I think the hospitality industry is one of those spaces that kills people's self-esteem, and also either the workers are very comfortable or the workers are very afraid. One of the two has to be in play, because it doesn't make sense to me why you're yelling at me, but also the things that don't make sense. So why are you not speaking up for yourself? It can get you in trouble, yes, but some things are just black and white. So it's okay to speak up for yourself, but in the hospitality industry, you'll never see that. And of course, in the corporate world, it's a bit different, because you can probably lift up your work time, do better, dress up nice, come to work early the next day, and that's okay. But then what happens when the salary is delayed? You know, and you can't ask your boss because you're thinking, they're gonna pay. You keep checking for the bank notification, it's not coming, but you're hopeful. But you cannot ask, because at the end of the day you need to. And your boss, even knowing that he has not paid you, still expecting you to come to work on time, to deliver, to make sure that work is done. And that's okay, but okay, yes, you can't pay us this month. Where is the communication? Where is the notice that we cannot do this? And then, because yeah, professionalism is communication as well. And that's why I feel like the hospitality industry kills people's self-esteem, because now you're terrified of losing your job. You can't speak up for yourself. You're just there literally waiting for orders and being nice and smiling at people. And that's okay. But your entire system is crushed because you don't feel respected at work. You just feel like a laborer, and that's what you are. But I also feel like, because the hospitality industry is one of those industries that have a very large number of people that can work, you find that, oh yeah, you're a waiter, but how many people can actually carry the tray? You don't need special training to carry the tray. So yeah, you talk back at your boss, you get fired. They'll find someone else to replace you. And the level of insecurity that brings is very high up there. And still, it applies to the corporate world. So many people don't speak up in the corporate world. They're trying to, just please the boss, be nice, because at the end of the day, you need to keep your job. And in Uganda right now, it's crazy hard to get a job. Connections have to come in play. Yeah, you have your degree, but who's going to give you a job? So you're thinking, it took me a while to get this job, so I need to keep this job. I need to just smile and keep quiet. And it's very strange to me why spaces that should have so much professionalism looks at the creative world and they're like, that's not it. Because it's literally the same thing everywhere. Just because it's a different page, it's a different cover, at the end of the day, it's the same book, it's the same script, but we're just on different pages. Yeah, the creative field is happening, the corporate world is happening, but professionalism should be carried all through. And I am not emphasizing on the daily things that people already know. I'm talking about how humane you are, how you speak to people, how you respect the people, as a boss or not, because respect is given, but you also earn it. So as a boss, you expect to be respected while you don't respect your co-workers. Make that make sense. Make that make sense, because it does not make any sense. So for me, I just want to know what you guys think or feel like about professionalism in the creative space, in your corporate space, because I believe that in different workspaces, professionalism is so different, or applied differently, or respected differently. So let me know what you guys think, what professionalism means to you, what it looks like at your workplace, what sucks about it. Because for me, in the professional world, I just do not like disrespect. I do not like the fact that there are jobs that kill your self-esteem and you can't speak up for yourself. Sometimes it's as simple as the tone you've used is not appropriate and you're just not okay with it. Now your entire day is ruined because what? Your boss yelled at you? What happened to communication? If we're talking about communication, why are we not talking about that? Why are we not having these conversations? Why are we not extending this kind of conversation to spaces that are supposed to employ us, to spaces where you're going to become an employee, an employer, you're going to become a boss, you're going to run companies? Because there's no way you will know how to operate with people if you can't do the bare minimum: respect, knowing how to relate to people humanly, and yeah. It's as simple as that. So what does hospitality, professionalism mean to you? And are you a creative? What kind of conversations should be had in line with professionalism as a creative? Because like I said, it cannot be given the same level ground, the same accord, the same respect, because creativity is basically doing things out of the system, not just within the system. So yeah, let me know what you think, how it works in your space, what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and let's have those conversations. Because yeah, we're gonna start, you and I, and we're gonna get these conversations out. So yeah, why don't you start from here and then we can get it to your workplace. So yeah, be professional, but also remember to be humane to people. So yeah, thank you so much. You've been listening to If I Do Say So Myself, and I do say so myself. My name is Fasi Tao. I've been your host, and I'll be hoping to catch you on the next episode.